This video is sponsored by the developers.
Hey guys, Ninja Guy VR here, and a new free-to-play MOBA called Crystal Conquest is coming out soon. I feel like this is a genre that hasn't been explored much in VR, so I was excited to learn that this one was coming. The demo is currently out and I had the opportunity to play to my heart's content, and today I'm here to tell you all I know about it. So let's get into it. Crystal Conquest is coming out in early access this summer on Steam and MetaQuest. The developers are Mystic Interactive, and I believe that this is the first game under their belt. Something interesting that they mention is that if there's a lot of demands for the game, they may make adjustments on the release date. It would honestly be cool if the game would pick up, so I'm keeping an eye out. Alright, so the gameplay speaks for itself. This is a MOBA. The main mode is 3 players against 3 other players where you have to destroy your opponent's towers, and then at their base there will be a spirit that you have to defeat in order to win the game. There's a lot of strategy to it, and every time that I start a new match, I feel like I'm improving more and more. The basic learning curve pace is great. After finishing one match, you'll already start to get a hang of it. But afterwards, you'll start getting a more steep learning curve where you're learning how to win in battles, what you need to do to gain advantage, and things like that. I personally like long-term improvements in games. There are 2 huge crystals on the map. It's very advantageous to gain possession of these crystals because if you do, your minions that spawns to attack will be much more powerful, so gaining both crystals is a significant buff. Then there's a few other things on the map like monsters that you can battle to level up faster and things like that. You have 4 abilities that you can use. Managing them can be a little overwhelming at first. You have mana that depletes while using abilities, but using them also costs a certain amount of focus that regenerate pretty fast, so you have to take those into consideration. Most characters have a dash that costs 1 focus. This is very useful when you want to travel to a location super fast. I've played MOBAs in the past and I have to say that this one is a great entry point if you've never played one before. It's well crafted and not too complicated. The map is small and there's not too much crazy stuff to manage on the map, so definitely check it out if you're either a noob or a veteran. I feel like it's for everyone. There are currently 4 classes in the game and I'm going to go through them with you. There are 2 classes that focus on damage, and my favorite one is the Wind Element class, the Aeromancer. All characters have their basic attack just by holding the trigger to form a ball, and then just throw it. Then my most used ability is the Barrage. This throws a bunch of small balls at the same time, which does a lot of damage. You then have a Gale that throws a gust of wind for a long period of time. You also have a Barrier, which is super useful when you jump into combat. It basically gives you extra health for a certain amount of time. His ultimate ability is the Whirlwind. When activated in a specific place, it'll make a crazy storm that damages everyone in it over time. The second damage focused character is the Fire Element class, the Pyromancer. She also has the Barrage ability, but then she can also throw a big fireball that does damage on impact, but also does burning damage over time. She has a Flame Aura that gives 25% fire resistance and deals damage over time if she is touched. Her ultimate is a big firewall that sets people on fire if they are in the area. The Earth Elemental class Geomancer is the one with the biggest learning curve. This is the class that you would use for the jungler. You go around the map to grind creatures and such to be more powerful. This is the only class that doesn't have a dash. He has a boulder ability that builds a big rock in front of you that you can project to any enemy, and other abilities that are pretty similar to other classes. Last but not least is the Water Elemental class, the Hydromancer. This is the support class that has the ability to heal other characters around her. Your only good damaging ability is a ball of water that you can pierce spell effects. Other than that, you have a barrier just like the Aeromancer, and then your ultimate is just a fog cloud that obscures visibility for 15 seconds. Definitely a class to play only when you have a good group of friends to coordinate with. So there's actually 2 extra modes that you can play in the game. There are some nice additions and there's some fun to play with it. First one is Mage's Duel. This is 1v1 online only mode where you fight against your opponent. Sadly I wasn't able to try this yet since I couldn't find anyone to play online with, but it looks fun, especially when you want to start up a quick duel. I'll need to explore this one at some point. Last mode is the Gauntlet, and that one is super fun. Basically they throw waves of enemies at you, but it's not just randomly generated, it's well thought of, and they position allies with you for certain battles. I feel like I've only tasted the top of the icing playing this mode, because there was only 5 waves available, so I can't wait to see this mode more fleshed out, and it must be super fun especially with friends in co-op. There's no roadmap for the game yet, but the devs have discussed many things on their socials. First, they plan on revamping the Aeromancer a little. they've teased a new character model that they're going to replace with the current one. We also got the chance to vote on what move this class should have next. In the game, you can see that they'll be adding merchants in there, so maybe to buy buffs or equipment when you're at your base, that brings a lot more strategy. We'll also be seeing some new classes in there. They've teased the Elementalist and the Illusionist, and they have some pretty cool moves in their tool belt. Alright guys, that's pretty much what I had to say about Crystal Conquest for now. I'm thinking of maybe doing a tips and tricks video for the newcomers. If that interests you, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to work on that. The demo is currently out on Steam. I'll put a link to the game in the description, so make sure to try it out if you have a chance. And also wishlisting it would be great on both the Steam and Meta Store. I also have a link to their Discord. The devs are super active if you ever want to start up a conversation with them or if you have some feedback. Thanks for watching! Don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming games or anything and everything about VR gaming. I've still got a lot of cool stuff coming up in the next 2 weeks, so keep a lookout. See you again soon!